Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Doss here. I wanted to talk about what's gonna be next for Dead by Daylight with everything that's happened and all these changes that are going on. I want to do a little bit of predictions, some theories, stuff along those lines. And by all means, for anyone watching, leave down in the comments what your theories are, because there's lots of us throwing some wrenches into some things. So let's get right into it. So as we know, the next chapter was supposed to be a license and it was supposed to come out in November. However, with Behavior's announcement last month of trying to work on the game's health, they are delaying a ton of stuff and possibly canceling some stuff. One of those being the licensed chapter. So instead of it coming out in November, it's slated to come out in January. So a full 2 months later. Now, my theory that I had for what the licensed chapter was originally was Stranger Things. And for me personally, I still believe that it could be a Stranger Things chapter. Simply because, yes, the Stranger Things final season was going to be airing in line with the chapter's original release date. But with this new release of January, that's still coming in line with the final part of the Stranger Things chapter. If you're not aware, the final season of Stranger Things is being released in 3 parts. And so this chapter that would come out would be kind of still in line with the final part of Stranger Things releasing. Does it work as perfectly? No, not really. And my original theory was, oh, it's Stranger Things because there's a 2v8 modifier being released along with it. So my original theory was they're going to be adding Demogorgon and whoever the new Stranger Things killer is going to be, whether it's Stranger Things Vecna or something else. However, there has been some recent things in the files that people have discovered regarding Konami. There is some kind of duo bundle type of thing in the files. And there's some stuff in the files for the next iteration 2v8 that lead people to believe that the next killer is being introduced in 2v8 are Pyramid Head and Dracula. Because if you're not aware, Silent Hill and Castlevania are both Konami IPs. So that kind of lessens my theory for Stranger Things a bit. My theory is still that it is Stranger Things, still coming in January. However, I'm not sure. My theory isn't as sound as it used to be. And granted, my theories and predictions in the past have been pretty spot on. This was before I fully dedicated myself making videos and stuff, but it has been something that I have been pretty much on the money for. Now, we know that it's still a license and it has to be with some kind of company, some IP holder that's okay with having this release be pushed back 2 months. That's also something that needs to be considered, because I don't think specific licenses would be okay with that type of decision from Behavior. Some other possibilities it could be is, honestly, it could be Pennywise. However, this chapter is a killer and a survivor. It is like a full-on chapter. So specifically, the chapter for year 10, I should say, was a new killer and 2 new survivors. So I'm not sure what licenses it could be that have the ability to have 2 survivors. With Stranger Things, it definitely could have worked because you could have used the aged up versions, like the current versions of the kids and stuff. You can include Hopper and stuff like that. But I don't know. With it, you can use like any one of the adult versions of the Losers Club. You can have maybe legendary skins for the other members, and then have Pennywise be the main killer. It could be another video game one. We have been getting quite a lot of video game collaborations though. We had just recently Castlevania and Five Nights at Freddy's. So my thoughts of it being that are kind of lessened. And like one of the original theories I had was it could be Predator, because at the same time the Predator movie was coming out with this chapter. It could be Predator. They did mention recently that they wouldn't really want to include Dutch because he's like something that's like too, he's like in a role specifically that can't be killed. And so I don't know, there's some kind of like weirdness to it, because in the Predator show, anime, whatever you want to call it, there is a scene where it shows the previous like main characters, I guess you could call them, kind of in cryostasis. And I believe the character of Dutch is in cryostasis as well. So I don't know. This leads to a very weird conundrum where what license, what IP is okay with having the release of their chapter be pushed back 2 whole months, and what license fits the bill of being able to have a killer and 2 survivors with it? Because I don't think it'd be a Silent Hill Part 2. I definitely don't. As much as I love Silent Hill, I don't think Silent Hill has iconic enough, I guess, enemies to be made into a killer. Pyramid Head is like really the only one that is that iconic that is okay to be made into a killer. Survivors, absolutely, but we've already gotten most of the cast of Silent Hill as survivors. There's definitely a few that are missing, but I definitely don't think this would be the case. And I don't think Behavior would do a licensed chapter for a brand new released game like Silent Hill F. I definitely don't think they would do that. And I know some people were stating like, oh, it could be Resident Evil Part 3. And as much as I like Resident Evil, I don't think we need another chapter for it, at least not for a very, very long time. We had Resident Evil Fatigue when we had the first chapter release for the, what was it, the 6th-year anniversary. And then we had the, actually, no, my apologies. I think it was for the 5th year. And then we had Project W released the next year. It has been a bit of time, but I feel like that there's just been a ton of Resident Evil fatigue simply because Wesker was the most popular killer to go against for a very long time. So, and if it is Resident Evil, I think that there's a few options that you can go with. You can go with the very like popular choice of Lady D. And it would be kind of cool to have her voice lines and stuff like that, and have like maybe a map dedicated to Castle Dimitrescu. And then have maybe a rendition of Ethan, because we do know how Ethan looks like. Even though you play in first person, there is a full body model of Ethan. And then maybe have the other one be Ethan's daughter, or I don't know, maybe a character from Resident Evil 7. I'm not sure. I mean, with Resident Evil 7, you could do what's his name? Baker. I always forget his first name. But who would be the 2 survivors? I mean, you have one be Ethan, but who would be the second one? Would it just be somebody else from Resident Evil franchise? I'm not sure. For me personally, I still think the next license is going to be Stranger Things. I still think it makes the most sense. It's still going to be releasing with the new season, at least at some point for it. You have a plethora of choices for survivors, and you can still do the Stranger Things Vecna as the killer. In fact, because actual Vecna, D&D Vecna, isn't called Vecna. He's called the Lich. So you can have the Stranger Things Vecna be called Vecna, or you can have it be called something else, something that's related to that version. But I'm not sure, because the reason why I say this is the Demogorgon. The Demogorgon is based off of an actual D&D creature. Like, that's what it's named after. But in Dead by Daylight, it's literally just called the Demogorgon. So they could just do that same exact route and have Stranger Things Vecna be called the Vecna. But I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. I wanted to just make this video kind of speculating, doing some think tanking and stuff, simply because we just had the most recent license revealed, which was the Krasu, however you pronounce it. It's been released, it's been fully announced and stuff like that. And then with the announcement of November's chapter being booted to January now, maybe being a conglomerate release or something else, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to wait and see, but I think that's gonna be it for me this week. Everyone, by all means, 100% let me know down in the comments what licenses you think could be coming in January, and who knows, I might make a video talking about all your guys' opinions and thoughts of it. But I do ask that you guys actually make informed opinions and comments. Like, I'm not looking to see like what you guys want, it's what you guys actually think is going to be the next license chapter, because remember, it's a killer and 2 survivors, so we gotta think of stuff that fits that bill. Again, if there's comments in this with some good options like that, I will make a video going through and seeing what I think could be the best options for it. I still think Stranger Things is the forerunner, and I think maybe Predator is the other option. But if you're new around here, you like my content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, hit the bell icon to get notified whenever a new post goes live or whenever I go live on stream. And I also do have channel memberships open, so you can get early access to videos when applicable. For the most part, if I end up filming something super early in the morning and I finish my edit and stuff like that, I tend to post it either a day or a few days beforehand. But you also get specific emotes you can use. You get a little icon next to your name showing how long you've been subbed, stuff like that. And if you do become a member, you are supporting me, you are helping me out, which would be greatly appreciated. But besides that, that's it for this video. So as always, I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, and evening. Goodbye, everyone.